Welcome to
Welcome.
Hypocrisy Now. I'm Rachel.
I'm Sarah.
What do we tell the new people?
Well, we might not be everyone's cup of tea, but we're somebody's shot of tequila.
Good news is we have 990 days. We're under 1,000. That's something to celebrate right there. 18 hours, 32 minutes, and 24, 3, 2, 1 seconds. Yay!
Yay.
Cheers!
Cheers.
Actually, I just want to say, I hope that's the countdown because they're really trying to plant that seed that Trump's not going anywhere.
This is terrifying.
Yeah, I was actually thinking today, we almost need to start including tips on how to get out of a cult. I almost feel, I mean, it's not a cult, but there's similarities of being in a narcissistic relationship, getting out of that and coming to reality and giving yourself grace, but also looking at your part in it.
I'm typing up, am I in a cult?
A lot of times the basis of these cults are like good ideas, right? Hey, we want to pull our resources and live a better life, live off grid. And then, yeah, something, whoever's leading it, their power gets to their head. Why does it all come back to some weird sex shit?
I mean, the truth is because it's a vulnerability, and that's also
Power,
fucking
control.
gross.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
according to Reddit, indicators of a cult are as follows. Group displays excessively zealous and unquestioning commitment to its leader and
Check.
regards his belief system, ideology, and practices as the truth and law.
But
Questioning, doubt, and dissent are discouraged or even punished. Mind-altering
okay.
practices, meditation, chanting, speaking tongues. Let's see. Leadership dictates, sometimes in great detail, how members should think, act, and feel. Hate, 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 hate. The group is elitist, claiming a special exalted status for itself, leaders, and members. Considered the Messiah a special being, an avatar, or the group and or
The
leader is
AI
on a
image.
special mission to save humanity. Group has a polarized us versus them mentality.
Us versus them, for sure. What was the thing before that, though? Saving humanity?
Yep.
I mean, I guess they do try to say that, right? Like they're trying to save, I don't know, white culture.
For sure. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yep.
Hmm.
The leader is not accountable to any authorities. The group teaches or implies that its supposedly exalted ends justify whatever means it deems necessary. This may result in members participating in behaviors or activities that would have considered reprehensible or unethical before joining the group. Yeah. January 6th.
Yeah.
Leadership induces feelings of shame and or guilt in order to influence and control its members, often done through peer pressure and subtle forms of persuasion. Subservience to the leader or group requires members to cut ties with family and friends, preoccupied with bringing in new members, preoccupied with making money,
Hmm.
expected to devote inordinate amounts of time to group and group related activities. Most loyal members are the true believers, feel there can be no life outside of the context of the group. They suffer from Trump derangement syndrome if they're not a part of the group. They believe there is no other way to be.
These people they didn't start in the cult, right? They were outside saying, oh, this is a cult, or this is the Antichrist, or this guy's a Nazi, or Hitler, or whatever. And then they wanted that power. I mean, what?
I don't know. I mean, I think of like how Hitler gained so much power, and it's because, after World War One, things were so bad and people were really looking for a way to bounce back because things were so bad, and he was a good orator, apparently.
Hmm.
Obviously, piece of shit. I'm not saying don't cover me. Uh
Like, listen, I didn't know the guy
Yeah,
personally.
right. Like, I don't know, tiny stash, bad at art, back off me. Little Wang also pooped, whatever. But I don't know. I guess that's the juxtaposition that I don't quite understand because were things really that bad under Biden? I mean, it's not like gas was $5 a gallon, was it? I don't think at any time it was.
No, and he was handed a shit economy from
Yeah.
COVID. And sure, the first year or so they were trying to rebuild, right? So those numbers don't look great. And that's what everybody loves to compare. They're like, oh, well, in Biden's first term, Trump just left. When Trump came into office, he was handed a growing economy. Jobs were growing, inflation was going down. The numbers were good. If he just would have went golfing every single day and did nothing, we would be in a great position.
Oh, he's like a fucking chaos agent. Like
Yeah.
everything is just like, let me see what I can shit stir over here. It's not a presidential way to behave. ever. If you want to think like that on your own little private blah, I'm sure I've felt that hateful towards people at some point in my life. Nobody that's
Absolutely.
died that I know, but I get it. But you don't say that to a whole country. Like, yeah, fuck that guy. It just gives permission for the stupidifying of an entire country, which is
And
what's happening.
so it's like, who are these cult members that are still cult members? I want to believe that there are people out there who are good people who still believe in Trump, but the other part of me is how and why. Unless you are just a full-fledged racist or pedophile, which apparently is like a prereq of being in the administration or around Trump, how do you find any of this to still be okay?
I think part of his maybe unintentional strategy was diversifying his hatred so vastly that just a lot of people were like, yeah, I do hate that. And they hung their hat on that platform, right? Whether it be immigration, whether it be abortion, whether it be trans people and giving a fuck about what bathroom they use. There are so many divisive things that people could really latch onto one thing and use that as justification to negate all the other stuff. Like, go pee where you pee. Are you really that concerned about it? I mean,
Also, isn't your home bathroom open to all sexes?
well,
Like,
and a lot of regular bathrooms are. I mean,
yeah,
I
porta
I don't
potty.
know,
Have
but
you ever
then
had to
you
use a
get
porta
those
potty? The
you
airplane?
get like a trans person just wants to mind their business and do their shit.
Yeah.
Those are straight guys masquerading to try and prove a point. And I'm sure you and I can both agree, I've had way more fucking problems with straight white dudes than any other demographic of human person in the entire 44 years of my entire existence. So fuck off, man. Like,
Yeah, that
I don't care
1% of
where
the
you put your,
population of
yeah.
trans
Why
is
why do you
really,
care where people put their junk? Like, yeah, it's all fun and games when it's Mrs. fucking Doubtfire, but then when we get to the real shit, get all up in arms
but
about it. And again, these people have existed since the dawn of time.
yeah,
This is
they're not
not
going
like
anywhere.
new shit. This is a element of the human existence.
It's going to still exist. It's just going to be a lot harder and it's going to harm a lot of people.
Yeah,
A lot
at
more
the end of the
people.
day. Speaking of harming people, let's talk about the fucking EPA.
Yeah.
So,
So
full disclosure, my first introduction into the EPA was from the Simpsons movie,
perfect.
uh,
I,
where
they're very
Homer,
accurate.
right, where Homer dumps a bunch of pig shit into the lake and then they put the dome over the lake.
Well,
And that's how I
that's
know
what,
what the EPA is.
well, Trump's trying to do that right now, right? They're trying to build the golden dome.
Life
So
imitates art, doesn't it?
that's right. And The
Weird.
Simpsons. Everybody's
Yeah,
all like, Simpsons predicted it. No, they're just following The Simpsons lead.
for sure.
Well, did you look up anything on the EPA?
I
Do
did. I
I,
did.
so can I ask you, Sarah, how did I ruin your day?
This guy seems like a butthole. And basically they're like, poison doesn't exist. And like, nope, it super does.
We're talking about Lee Zeldin, the administrator for the EPA. Continue on what you learned
Well, I
about.
love how they're like, can you admit that this climate change has been exacerbated or caused by a lot of these factors? And his response was, the climate is always changing. Shut the fuck up, dude. When I was a kid, spring was spring, winter was winter, and now it is 70 degrees until November, and it is 34 degrees in the middle of May. Today it was 80. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What are you
Right.
talking about? That's why you don't breathe the back end of a fucking car exhaust because that shit is bad for you.
So this guy's a real piece of shit. I love how this administration is just built of our EPA doesn't believe in climate change. The head of the HHS doesn't believe in vaccines. Our head of education calls AI A1, the
You
incompetence. So
you
we were
don't
kind of talking about
you
this,
don't
but
think putting toxic chemicals into a,
mhm.
a plant and then having that plant belch out all the farts of that thing. Yeah, do you also sniff farts? Because it's the same thing except on like a big corporate
Way bigger
scale.
scale.
But
And
it's
he's
all
yeah, absolutely. And let's not forget that this all kind of started with the greenhouse gas
yeah.
reporting program. Basically, they could use this greenhouse gas report that was, very scientific, had lots of studies basically saying how all of these things impact the environment. And the EPA comes in and says, this isn't relevant. So now any legal battles that were kind of wrapped up in saying, hey, we stand ground because this report is saying, XYZ causes XYZ. You cannot sue us now because we're saying this is no longer relevant. This isn't true.
Okay.
Yeah. He goes, you can take that report and have your dog piss on it. This is what this guy said during a congressional hearing.
Classy. So what's this
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking at? Single largest act of deregulation in the history of the United States. A few moments later, U.S. states sued Trump over his move to scrap greenhouse gases ruling. Minnesota joins 24 states suing EPA over repeal of greenhouse gas endangerment finding. Several states sue Trump administration over ability to regulate greenhouse gases. U.S. states sue Trump EPA over decision to repeal bedrock climate finding. 24 states, 10 cities sue EPA over repeal of endangerment finding central to climate fight. What blows my brain out of my body, there's proof. Look at Chernobyl, for example. Okay?
Undeniable, undeniable evidence that
There's
that
there's actual documented, cannot be disputed, not coincidental evidence of these things. Or even in the United States, there's so many, it's so creepy. These like little towns where there's been some reactive type of deal, and now they're ghost towns, and you still can't go in them. They're radioactive.
and those are the
Yeah.
ones we know about.
Y- Yeah. And you again think farting all that shit into the sky for it to rain down on food, crops, animals, water, things that we actually ingest, consume, breathe every day. No big deal.
Yeah, that stuff's not real. Ah, well, Sarah, how do we save democracy?
Oh man. Maybe we find the right chemical that turns us into superheroes and then we can fight all this bullshit. This is what's sad is that there's just limited financial resource for a lot of people to be able to buy at farmers markets and do that kind of stuff because the sad
Yeah.
truth really is that shit is expensive.
Let me buy this loaf of bread from you. And she said $13. And I said, is it too late for me to put it back? But then you have to shame buy
Which is crazy.
and then
So I
never
don't
go
know.
back and never show my
Yeah.
face there again.
And you're right. You feel bad and you buy it because you're there and you buy it. But like, man, if regular groceries are expensive, the actual fresh, actually
Yeah, real
not
food.
poisonous stuff is not something that just the
Yep,
average person
right,
can purchase.
right.
So you're kind of
Stuck
stuck,
right where they want
which
you to be.
truly
We do not have a leadership that wants us
healthy,
thriving and smart and healthy and no.
wild. It's
Yeah.
it's a crazy time. It's crazy.
Do we have anything for the people? Any
I mean, same
positivity?
that we say all the time, right? Like, don't be a dick. Enjoy the
Right.
moments you have. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen with the economy. Will it crash? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not, but that has happened before. But also
Like,
be aware when someone is trying to completely fucking bulldoze you, and that seems like what this whole administration is trying
yeah,
to do. It
yep.
seems like they're all full of bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of them is like a Dr. Evil kind of situation, which is
Mm-hmm.
also crazy. Try to objectively think of is this legit? And not that you want to be a conspiracy theorist about everything because holy bananas, there's
You could easily, yeah.
but I don't know. I think these things are important, what they're doing to our food, our air. Saying climate change isn't real is like the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard.
And
Like, have
that's
you
straight from
existed?
the head of our EPA.
Yeah, you're right. The climate does change, but not at this rate. Again, look at Chernobyl, look at facts. Like
Science, research, data.
this is whatever. Yeah, and look at where all these guys are siphoning their money when they get kickbacks and payouts from
Mm-hmm.
all these big corporations. That should be a red flag, dude.
All
Well,
right. Well, I know. Let's see. Can we do it? How do I do it? Is it gonna let me? Is it gonna let me? Is it gonna let me? How do I do my heart?
Lets you.
It's
It doesn't
going.
let
I'm like,
me.
ah,
Oh, there you
hey.
go! Yay! How come I can never do it? It's my Zoom account. What the fuck?
I don't know, loser.
Rude.